running. Go. Start this. Start it.
Is it starting?
Yeah, go.
All right, I'm going to wait till you run
I
past.
hate you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Jump Cut.
What's that?
I'm your host, Nigel Fullerton. Sitting next to me is...
Steve. I can't think of a name. This kind of works. I'm wearing a not Steve shirt. So.
And basically, this is a show where we talk about geek culture, TV, movies, and sometimes video games. Today, we'll be discussing Aladdin, John Wick, and the movie Brightburn.
Hell yeah. All right, it's running. I'm sorry, I had to make sure it was
all
running.
right, it's all good.
Forgive me.
Well, before we get into that, what we do every week is we talk geek news.
Geek news.
Yeah, we're kind of light on the geek news today. I do have some stuff though.
I have a stuff.
So you want to start with yours?
Sure. As we all know, it's the cycle for new video games coming out. We just got the new Death Stranding trailer.
Okay.
Going to have a November 8th release date.
Ooh.
I'm shocked that I remembered that.
Okay.
The trailer it was an 8-minute trailer showcasing video game combat involving melee, mainly focused, as well as you being able to walk around, between planes and see the ghosts in the other dimension. I don't know if you're too familiar with the game.
I've played it only once.
You never played it?
No, I mean I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it's not out yet. But that's the case for that. So it's expected to drop November 8th from Hideo Kojima with star Norman Reedus.
I do like Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, this is his game after Silent Hills got pruned and he got kicked out of Konami.
Right.
So that's going to be really interesting, and it also highlights the last year of PlayStation with Last of Us 2 as well.
Right.
And other games that I
Part
can't
2,
remember.
you mean, right?
Yeah, Last of Us 2, and what else do we have? We also have Call of Duty, which is there's a little leak coming out today.
Okay.
This year's Infinity Ward's turn. If you guys like Call of Duty, you might like this. I'm pretty iffy, but the new Call of Duty is expected to come out November every year.
All right.
And this one's going to be what looks like to be a Modern Warfare reboot.
Wow.
So instead of them rehashing the same stuff every year, they're just rebooting the same stuff that they're rehashing every year.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, another video game news, I do know that E3 is coming up and that Marvel has a new video game with Square Enix. Don't know what it's going to be about. We haven't had those many rumors yet. Have you heard about it or no?
No, we still don't know many details even about the Final Fantasy VII remake.
True.
So,
they never came out with that?
No, it's not out yet.
The remake.
The ground up.
I swore it came out.
Ground up 3D remake.
Oh my god.
Then it's going to be. We do know it's going to be in chapters, like episodes.
Okay.
Like what they did with Hitman, but that's all I know.
No problem. In other geek news, Spider-Man 3. Yes, there are rumors this week about Spider-Man 3. They're thinking that Spider-Man 3 is going to include either Venom or Deadpool or both.
We all know how well it went last time with Spider-Man 3 having Venom, so I'm really have high hopes.
I mean, I don't understand why they keep trying to shoehorn Venom in when he doesn't work in this universe.
I can't see the personalities working between Tom Hardy and...
They really want Tom Hardy to be in the Spider-Man universe.
I mean, it's not like Venom was unanimously loved.
It wasn't, but... Fans did like it. Fans did go and watch it.
I liked it, but it didn't mean that I thought it was amazing. I thought Spider-Man was just an overall better two films.
I still haven't watched Venom. I wanted to. I turned it off. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Because
thanks for tuning into the Jump Cut. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, but my issue with Sony. Sony keeps trying to push these movies on me that I don't really want. I'm not really here for. It's kind of like when they tried to do Amazing Spider-Man 3 and they kept trying to shoehorn the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
I feel like they keep rehashing ideas.
No one wanted a sequel to Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was horrible, especially with Jamie Foxx.
Screw Electro.
Hey, Spider-Man.
Do you remember me?
Oh, Spider-Man. That's right. I'm gonna get you. I couldn't deal with Jamie Foxx as the villain for Amazing Spider-Man, and it was just so lackluster. So I feel like they're taking old ideas from the Amazing Spider-Man series and they're just shoehorning it in to this reoccurrence of Spider-Man. I feel like it's just leftover stuff. I feel like we're gonna get Kraven the Hunter next. We already got the Vulture, which was supposed to be in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, the intro though.
Right.
A fat vulture.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just recycled ideas from old Spider-Man that we're just getting into this new one now. So
jeez,
I don't know.
Well, I'm interested. I got to see how Far From Home is. That's all I really got to say there. Because Far From Home, it could be really hit or miss for me. Because I really love a new Spider-Man movie. I really don't love when they try to cram too many things into it. I mean, like, they did it well with Into the Spider-Verse, but Into the Spider-Verse was also drawn. So this isn't drawn.
But there were also rumors that Venom might be into Far From Home.
All right, let's get to the reviews.
Because of the multiverse.
Oh, God. Oh no, I don't like this.
And one last thing, we saw the new trailer for Terminator this week. Your thoughts on the new trailer for Terminator?
It looks like Genesis, but worse somehow.
Well, I do like that. Sarah Connor, the original Sarah Connor, is in the movie. I do like that the original actress that played her, I forget her name right now, but I do know it starts with Linda. I do like the fact that she's in it. I'm not sure how I feel about her fighting in the movie, and I'm not sure the time period where this Terminator takes place.
I'm not sure if it's just going to be good, like plot-wise. That's what I don't care about Terminator anymore because we had Salvation and Genesis.
Well,
and
James Cameron...
Genesis was spoiled in the trailer.
It was. But James Cameron is supposedly involved in this one. Supposedly.
I gotta believe when I see it, man.
I hear you. I'm on the fence. I'm not sure if I'm here for it. I've been through too many bad Terminator movies to be like, hey, I'm all ready for this. I mean, it's been about 6. I won't say 6. That's wrong. But after Terminator 2, we had Terminator 3. We had Terminator Salvation. We had Terminator Genesis. And we also had those Sarah Connor Chronicles that were on Fox.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Nigel,
yeah.
Suck.
Yeah. I'm bringing us back to the future with this one.
Oh, my Lord. I'm already in pain. We're talking about Terminator, and you're bringing up the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
I'm just telling you what I know, man. It's crazy that like Jeff Goldblum was like a punk kid in the first Terminator.
So, in summary, as you can tell, I'm very excited for the new Terminator movie. So,
and that's all we have for Geek News this week.
Yes. So if you think we suck at our jobs, be sure to leave a comment below and give us an angry react on the video to let us know.
Oh yeah, there's already angry people on here right now that don't like you.
No one doesn't like me. Let's be real here. I'm loved.
So which movie do you want to do first?
Aladdin.
All right. So we watched Aladdin this week.
I saw it last night and I saw it today, so we're both pretty much equally fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh in our mind. I don't think
did he have screaming kids though?
There were some.
There were some.
So
is there not school today?
I think finals. These kids had finals. I don't know.
But like when I was in elementary and middle school, that didn't get out till like end of June.
Well, these were like really young kids that don't like have school. So,
but they have preschool.
Yeah, I think they were before preschool.
You gotta wake up early tomorrow to go take naps.
I mean, preschool is only like half a day anyway.
Yeah, but it's a semi-early half a day.
I went to see this movie at 12:40.
I don't know. What I know is that when I was that age, I didn't want naps, and now I wish I took those naps.
Oh my goodness! So I don't think we have to explain Aladdin, like the story, because I feel like most people have seen Aladdin.
It's somewhat different. It's not the same.
Do you want to point out the different parts, or do you want to?
It's enough. It's not worth pointing out the differences. It's worth saying that it's different enough to where you're not going to expect every plot point as it hits.
True. Like I've seen this on Broadway as well, so I have the knowledge of the cartoon, Broadway, and this movie. And Aladdin is in my top 5 Disney movies. I know you're not a fan of Disney, but Aladdin is in my top 5.
All right, well, let me explain my gripe with Disney.
Okay, go for it first.
It's not really a gripe. All right,
okay.
So I go to a movie theater, right?
Okay.
Buy a ticket.
Right.
Go see a movie with an interesting premise. And then out of left field, they start singing what could be explained in about 15 seconds of dialogue. And I understand the music's extremely well written, especially in Aladdin. I'd say it's well written.
Tim Rice.
Yeah, I'd say it's well written, well composed. The scenes were very like visually pleasing in it, especially with the first time with the genie.
Okay.
That was a cool scene. But what I see myself doing is I'm just like, I'm not wanting to rock out to a song in the movie. I'm wanting to just sit there and watch the movie. And when the songs play, I'm just like, okay. And it's like, I remember the first time the song came on, me, my friends, and a few other people in the theater were hysterically laughing because it came out of left field.
Okay.
We're like, oh no.
Wait, what? Oh, so we're talking about the live action movie.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the singing that started in the beginning with Will Smith. He was singing. So that song is in the original movie.
He's like, but he's like, I'm not going to sing. And then
he starts singing.
And he's like, no. And then he sings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
You know what? You know what's funny about that song though? In the original Aladdin song, they had to cut out something out of that song because it was about beheading somebody or like saying something that was really
it makes sense.
It was really quote unquote racist. If you look on Watch Mojo, top 10 racist things that Disney has done, it's in that.
Mojo.
Yeah, it's in that. Like I forgot what they said, but there's like a in that song, "Come along to a place," and I forgot what it was, but
I don't have the emotional attachment to Aladdin.
I do.
So this is different then. This is the Detective Pikachu situation.
This is because I watched the original Aladdin in the movie theater.
Oh, I watched it.
I was a young kid. I was a young kid, but I watched it in the movie theater.
Oh.
So I think it's from whenever you watched it. You know? And it's the first, like, to me, it's the first Disney movie that had a guy.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, they're mostly princesses. They're mostly like a whole bunch of Disney princesses, and you know, your Sleeping Beauties, your Little Mermaids, your Beauty and the Beast, and now you have this guy Aladdin, who you're not quite sure what his ethnicity is. but this movie told it all.
Well, all right. Well, first thing I want to say, just to close off my thoughts of the music, is they could have done a better job with them lip syncing over the music.
Think so?
It's like, all right, I'm an audio engineer,
right,
or a producer. I don't do the metric stuff, but like for them to sing like with that kind of like boominess to their voice, they have to be right here against the microphone.
Right.
Where's the microphone of them dancing around on a ship?
Well, see, I was watching it in 3D, so I couldn't really tell if they were lip singing or not.
I hate 3D, but no,
I hate 3D too.
I'm watching when he's just kind of going like. But like he's belting it out in the song. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
this hurts my head.
You're talking about Will Smith?
Just any of them.
Oh my god!
And on top of that, you could tell like Will Smith was like pitch corrected and lip synced in.
Oh, of course he was.
I thought he could sing. Will Smith.
He's known for being a rapper.
He rapped. But I didn't know if he could sing too.
Not a singer.
I don't know. He could have been able to.
I mean, you know, anything is possible with auto-tune.
I've seen metal vocalists do disgusting things with their voices, but then like could sing like angels.
Anything is possible with auto-tune.
Well, pitch correction, but yeah. Well, anyway, going to the movie. The first thing that I noticed right off the bat when they showed the first scene when they're in the city of
Agrabah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm testing him, but it's really testing me.
Yeah, I know. I lived Aladdin. I've played the video games. Like I've played the one on Super Nintendo and Genesis because they're two different ones.
Well, when they're in the city, the first thing I noticed is that it reminded me actually of Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah,
it's like
that's basically what it was.
That kind of coloring, it was very pleasing to look at.
Yeah, you know what it is? That was based off Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
so that's
which was also based off Aladdin.
Yeah,
so full circle.
Hey,
it's like when people say that Tomb Raider ripped off Assassin's Creed and all that. I'm like, well, no, Assassin's Creed ripped off Tomb Raider.
Right.
It's like full circle or Uncharted. I'm sorry, but But it was visually pleasing to look at.
Right.
Like, a lot of the scenes were like they were well colored. It was a little dark overall, the movie. I don't know if you noticed that too.
It was kind of dark in the beginning. I don't know if they were going for that or not. I mean, it was Guy Ritchie who directed.
But even when it was like bright out, it still felt kind of dark.
It still felt kind of dark, yeah. And the cave scenes, I noticed the darkness a little bit more. But then again, like I said, I was watching it in 3D. So
3D is also dimmer.
Yeah, it's harder to watch it that way.
Watching movies in 3D.
It was the only movie that was available available at 12:40.
See it earlier. Go.
I couldn't. That was the earliest showing.
Why don't we go different days?
Hey, listen, I went to see the other movies the other days.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Even though you should have seen John Wick last week. But.
I should have, but I didn't. Listen, I watched 3 movies in 3 days for you guys.
I watched 3 movies in 3 days also for you guys. Watched 2 movies in 2 days.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And then third movie last week.
Yeah, last week.
Anyway, so the movie was visually pleasing to look at. The acting, I thought that Aladdin was casted really well.
I think so, too.
I think Will Smith did a really good job.
I think that he was okay. I just have a problem with Will Smith being Will Smith.
So it's just like Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, when I see Will Smith, I see Will Smith. Like, I don't see Genie.
I think that's more you than like his acting.
Yes and no. I feel like a lot of people feel that way because Will Smith is more of a personality now.
Yeah.
And in this state of his career than he is just an actor. Because like when we see Will Smith, we're like, oh my God, that's the guy that just bungee jumped on his birthday. That's the guy that's on Instagram dancing and doing like silly stuff.
I don't follow social media.
Oh, I follow him on social media.
That could be it.
Yeah, he has a bucket list. Like, it's hilarious. Like, it's all the stuff that he wants to do. Like, he wanted to do comedy, so he went and called up Dave Chappelle. He could have called anybody.
Yeah.
They called Dave Chappelle for some pointers, and he went and did comedy because it was on his bucket list.
Wow.
And it went just as well as that episode of Fresh Prince when he tried comedy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really thought that Will Smith was he did a way better job than I was expecting.
Okay.
I think he fit pretty well. I liked his dynamic with Aladdin. I thought they had like a really cool back and forth. Jasmine was pretty well casted too, even though it took a while for her to get into her traditional blue outfit.
Right.
Or teal. I'm sorry, you color Nazis out there.
It's all good. I liked Will Smith as the Genie. I think me seeing it on Broadway, the Genie that played on Broadway, amazing. He's not even blue. Like he's just amazing as a Genie, and like his singing is pitch perfect. He does it very well. Seeing Will Smith do it, I get it. He wanted to try to put some hip hop flavor into it. I understand that DJ Khaled toward the end of the movie. I don't know if you heard that they did "Friend Like Me," the DJ Khaled version.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh yeah. There was a rap version that he did at the end of the movie.
Well, a lot of the movie also had a lot of like really swingy style music. I can't really call it swingy because it's still in 4/4, but it had that kind of like that vaudeville.
Well, that's what the original songs were.
Yeah, no, but they like it was much more emphasized in this version. Like I think it's also the visuals that really enhanced it.
It's the visuals that enhanced it, yeah.
But I think the casting was done really well, except for the villain.
You didn't like Jafar?
Did you like Jafar?
I thought he was Puerto Rican. I'm not gonna lie to you. When he took off his Jafar hat, I thought he was Puerto Rican. I was like, I can't quite tell what you are, sir.
He wasn't menacing at all. He was kind of like a wuss.
Right.
Like he's like, I don't like the way you're running my kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching the guy. I'm like, Jesus, grow some backbone. You're supposed to be the villain.
Right.
Like the only thing that made you not like him is like, oh, he has a staff that can control people's minds. But each time he was just kind of like swatted away from doing that.
Who would you want to be Jafar?
Who would I want to be Jafar?
Yeah, who would you cast for Jafar?
Michael Jordan.
You're fired.
Who would I cast to be Jafar?
Who would you cast to be Jafar?
Someone menacing.
Who's menacing enough? Richard Belzer?
I don't know. I got to think on that. But I just want to go into this because we have 2 more movies to review.
Sure. No problem.
But Jafar was... He's just the entire movie is just him saying, I don't like the way you're running the kingdom without reason why. He didn't give reason why his character felt that way and for you to understand that. And like in 2019, when that's the thing of understanding the villain,
right,
which is the way it always should be, but now it's finally becoming a thing, is with that an understanding villain, is that Jafar just fell flat with him for that.
I mean, it is a Disney movie. I did see that Disney was trying really hard to make a Bollywood movie. And watching Will Smith dance in a Bollywood movie is hilarious. You mean the same guy that made Parents Just Don't Understand is now wearing pointy-toe shoes and pants that look like they came from Hammer?
Jesus. No, but But the thing is, though, is even for a kid, like, he needs to be something that looks like a definitive evil.
Yeah.
And he just looked like an angsty, like, understudy.
I told you, I swear he was Puerto Rican. Like, when he took off his Jafar
I don't know what
hat.
that's supposed to mean.
And when he took off his Jafar hat, he was not like from Agrabah. He was from the Bronx. He looked like one of J-Lo's dancers. That's all I'm saying. The one that she married.
Oh boy! But what they could have done is they could have done a little bit more fleshing out. They could have. All that happened was for the spoiler alert, if you have never seen Aladdin.
No, it's okay. I mean, listen, the movie's been around for 30 years.
But at the end, he's just like wanting all this power,
right?
And he's wanting more and more power. And I'm like, dude, from what it sounds like you just wanted to run the kingdom the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
But now you're just like, hey, I'm evil, and like, no one ever said, hey, I'm an evil person, like, unironically, you know?
I mean, but this is, like I said, a Disney movie.
Yes.
Like Disney never had something that was clear cut.
But I couldn't tell what angle they were trying to go for, and they failed at both.
There's never a clear-cut angle with a Disney movie.
Yeah, there is.
The
angle of a Disney movie is that the villain is the antagonistic aspect of the movie. He or she creates the conflict for the main character to go against.
Mm-hmm.
The main villain wasn't the conflict for most of the movie. The main villain didn't become the conflict until the final act when it was like convenient.
True.
You kind of get that?
True. Did you like all the stuff that they added, like, to the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Like the extra stuff. So, like, The Handmaid, for instance.
I think the movie. That's what I'm saying. Is the movie on its like, as a movie, I think it stands pretty well. It's a fun time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the movie. The only thing I really didn't like was Jafar.
Okay.
But and they had Gilbert Gottfried voice the parrot too. I think still.
No, I didn't hear it.
I think, from what I gathered, it was.
I didn't hear it.
Let's go to the Googles.
You can Google it all you want. Jafar. I didn't hear it.
That's a Gilbert Gottfried parrot.
Gilbert Gottfried. I can't do the voice. I used to be able to do it. I can't do it on command.
You know the Gilbert Gottfried voice?
I used to be able to do it. I used to kill Gilbert Gottfried's voice. I don't think I can do it right now.
I can't see it. I'll have to find it later.
I don't think he was in it, though. Like, after he got, like, Gilbert Gottfried is a dirty comedian. I don't know if you ever know. Like, he's not Disney material. Probably then he was Disney material, but, like, have you heard his stand-up lately?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You don't want to. We can't say any of his jokes on Area 22.
That sounds like not a good time. All right, so what's next? Next movie we got to review is...
Want to do John Wick?
John Wick
3.
The third one, John Wick the Turd.
All right, so John Wick is hard to explain because it's very short. Basically, what happened was...
Hard to explain. Man get dog killed. Man get mad. Man come out of retirement to kill bad man.
That was the first John Wick.
That continues to all the movies.
That continues through all the movies.
That's literally John Wick 1 and 2.
I feel like John Wick has always been very repetitive. And the first time I heard John Wick, I did you've seen the promo. I did a promo for John Wick.
Yeah.
And the first one, and that was
a football one, right?
Yeah, it was a football one. Mm-hmm. And when they told me about this movie about the guy that's killing everybody because someone killed his dog, I was like, that sounds like the stupidest movie I've ever heard. They're like, no, it's really good. And I was like, you're playing games.
John Wick good though is the fact that John Wick is a movie based on something so simple just to give an excuse for all that like flamboyant action sequences.
But you know what? This is something that's been used like in 80s movies. Mm-hmm. If you watch the Death Wishes, the Die Hards, anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
except for Die Hard 1.
Except for Die Hard 1. But if you watch it, that's what this is the Expendables with one guy. Like this is the hardest man to kill. This is the hardest man to kill like in all of the land. Like this is like for 3 movies, he's the hardest man to kill.
Shouldn't be sure.
What I liked about this is I really like Mark Dacascos. I'm saying his name wrong. I don't know if you know him, but he was the bald guy that he was one of the main villains in this movie. I loved him in Only the Strong and Double Dragon.
Well, I also loved his character shift in this movie.
His character shift was amazing.
Oh, it was so good because it shows so much character development. We'll get further into that in a second. Let's explain the movie first.
This movie made no sense though.
One thing I got to say is that the John Wick lore. There is a John Wick lore.
Yeah, there is a John Wick
and
lore.
I find it really interesting in how weird it is.
Well,
because you have an operations based in the Flatiron Building where you needed to have codes. Everything's bought with gold coins, services, and everything.
Right.
And everything's just done so with like finesse, but in such a weird way that appears normal to like everyone there.
Right.
And you're just like in the audience, like, okay, I guess this is happening.
Well, John Wick is a part of a league of assassins that basically in the second John Wick movie, John Wick killed somebody that he wasn't supposed to kill in the Flatiron Building.
It's not because he killed someone he wasn't supposed to kill. He killed someone who was a member of
No,
he just killed someone in general.
He killed somebody in general in the building, in that same Flatiron Building. So what happened
was the kill was justified because he would have died.
It was justified, but what happens is since he broke the rules,
which John Wick 2, that breaks our 2 week.
It's all good. It's all good. It's John Wick. I mean, there's nothing to think about. So basically now, since he broke the rules, so now he has every assassin in the world, and this is the end of John Wick 2. This happens also. Every assassin in the world is going to kill John Wick. Everybody's sanctioned to kill John Wick. So he is again the hardest man to kill in this John Wick 3. So I think that's the bulk of it.
I mean, yeah. Well, he's like because everyone's out to get him. He's just trying to survive.
Yeah,
that's it. And you know that's what's going to happen. And one thing I got to say that I'm grateful for this movie and I'm ungrateful for. I'm grateful that the final act I didn't think was going to happen at all.
Okay.
I didn't think the final act, and I don't want to spoil for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Even
I had a problem with that final act.
My good thing with it is that I didn't think that whole final act was going to happen at all. That whole like scene.
Yeah.
And it did happen. I'm grateful it did because it provided a lot of closure.
Okay.
Even though it didn't leave all of the closure, it provided enough to where I'm like, okay, I feel satisfied leaving this movie. I don't feel like I was blue-balled for another 2 years.
Oh my God.
Like so that was okay. I don't like how they set it up for a John Wick 4.
I don't like the setup for John Wick 4.
I don't like it. Just leave it a trilogy, man. It could have just been one movie and I'd been fine with it.
They could have, listen.
You had Marilyn Manson in the first movie. That was enough for me.
I forgot the first movie because all of these movies go in together.
They do, but the first movie always pops out to me as like the standout.
What I did like about this movie was Halle Berry. Halle Berry's character in the movie, like it's not because I'm very hard on Halle Berry. Like pause. But I don't like a lot of times when she's acting, I really don't like her as an actress. Okay. So when I watched her in this movie, I really liked the fighting style. Basically, I really liked she had 2 dogs, which was her
got
whole
old
thing.
Very quickly.
It got old, but I did like the dogs biting people. Like that was my main thing.
Welcome, Steve. We're talking about John Wick.
Yeah, we're talking about John Wick. So I mean,
like that brings me into what I didn't like about the movie. It's perfectly segues off of that.
Sure.
The scene with the dogs, right? When that whole fighting scene,
right?
Too long.
Very long.
Too long.
Very long.
After like a minute or two, you're like, all right, I had enough.
Right.
But then like they just keep going, and the dogs biting people's nuts, going and going and going and going. Like, okay, it was funny, like for the first 3 or 4 kills, but after like 17, you're like, okay, I had enough.
True.
It was basically the best way I could describe it as a shooting gallery for John Wick.
I mean, every movie is a shooting gallery for John Wick.
You know what I'm saying.
I know.
He was hiding behind a pillar, and he was literally like this, headshot for the entire scene. And like, all right, this is getting boring for me.
What did somebody say?
I'm excited to see where it goes, but not excited for when it's going to start losing steam.
Yeah, I don't. So. It's starting to lose steam for me.
Here, so you can read while I'm talking.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's starting to lose steam for me. I really wanted to know who, like, does he do his own stunts? Does he not do his own stunts? Is he like learning kung fu like in the middle of all this? Like, is he shooting Bill and Ted and then just going in to do it?
Well, with this movie, my big complaint with it was that scene. What I loved about the movie is the kills are so creative, and that's what you're here for, right? You're here for the fun action scenes.
I think that one's for you. Talking about Air Bud.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that redeemed the scene was the dog going Air Bud.
I mean, I liked him. I liked the dog going Air Bud.
Yeah, but that's the only redeeming part after the first minute or two.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that the kills were really interesting. The first kill in the movie with the book.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my God. I was groaning and grunting the whole time. The whole theater, I don't know if your theater was doing this, but they were like,
My theater was, because we saw it launch day.
Okay.
We had so much fun in my theater.
Oh, no.
Because everyone was like laughing or they were groaning in pain. And whenever John Wick went for a nut shot, my Lord, it was funny.
I went to see this movie with my mother. My mother's a pastor.
My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans.
So my mother is a pastor, and she really liked John Wick 2. So she goes and watches this, and she talked through the whole movie. The only reason she watched John Wick 2 is because Common was in it. And Common wasn't in this one, so she was trying to figure out where Common was.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, going back to reviewing the movie, that aside from that one scene, I really liked. I thought that John Wick had some really interesting action sequences as well. Mm-hmm. Like just like the kills that they approached. They didn't do the whole thing. It's like he kills someone with a pencil, and they're ballogging on that for the whole movie, trying to build up for a kill with the pencil. Like, okay, we get it, dog.
Right.
But now we see him actually like using his environment more. Like you see in one scene they tell him to take away his belt, which is foreshadowing for a scene where he does some elaborate kills with his belt. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. That's like. When you watch John Wick's like the horror film of like action film movies, you know? Like for horror movies, if you go to a slasher, you go there to see people get slashed. That's why you're in a slasher. Right. You go to John Wick, you go there to see people get slashed. Yeah, slashed.
So, your friend Steven said that he saw an interview with Keanu Reeves, said he did do most of his stunts.
Yeah, I saw his face in it.
Yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love the fact that he's in the era of what we would call old man action. Yeah. Which is like I said before, the Death Wishes, he's the new age Charles Bronson, he's the new age Chuck Norris.
Not like he wasn't like that with The Matrix. John Wick revitalized.
He was and he wasn't. See, when he did The Matrix, nobody was expecting him to know kung fu. Nobody was expecting that from him. So it was different to see him do that. But now he's at an age where he was the quote unquote bros surfer guy. Yeah. In the beginning of his career. Now we're just waiting for him to kick ass. Yeah, Bill and Ted, which is coming out next year. I actually did see a trailer for it. There was a teaser for it.
The producer over there is really happy.
Yeah, the producer is very happy. I'm happy too for Bill and Ted. I hope it doesn't suck like Bogus Journey. But the original the original Bill and Ted was really good. Mm-hmm. It's just like I learned who Sebastian Bach was from that movie. Well, that's the review. I didn't know who Skid Row was.
With John Wick, what it tried to do was it just tried to be a fun movie. It was better than the second. It was better than the second. Really self-aware of this movie. Not like it wasn't beforehand, but like it really knew what it was. Well, it
had to be because we all know what it was.
Yeah. It knew what it was. It knew what the fans wanted.
The only critique that I have for it is I could have did without the going to other people and joining like these little cults that we never knew about. We never knew that John Wick's name isn't really John Wick.
Yeah, well, but it's not like he was joining cults. It's like he was part of other things.
He was part of other things that we never knew about. I mean, I get it. We didn't know too much about John Wick.
That's why I say I like the lore. Because it goes super deep, and the way they built it. This is pinned? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's why I liked it, is it went it goes super deep, and it gives the room to do it. Okay. That's what I like about the lore. Mm-hmm. Is they can go as insane as they want, and it would still be cohesive and make sense. Right. That's what I really like about the world building that they did.
That's good.
And Nigel doesn't agree.
It was okay. I'm not saying it was great. It's not like I want
to read a book about it.
But definitely not.
It creates a perfect backdrop of weirdness and mystery.
Yeah, if you want to see people get kung fu to death, this is the movie. If you want to see people get sliced up with knives you've never even seen before, this is your movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark Dacascos, man, I love him. He was so good in this movie. I tweeted him after this too.
Jesus,
I had to, because nobody really knows who he is, so I had to point that out.
Well, the character, just generally the acting and like the quirkiness and showing how people put their professionalism before their fan or their like. Not their fans, but like before like their idols is like really interesting. Mm-hmm. But John Wick 3, very fun time.
Fun time.
I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
It was cool. There was some parts where I was like, "Oh, come on, let's get back to the fighting."
Well, there are parts where there's like, because you're going on the journey. That whole thing that sticks in my mind is that whole desert fight scene. You know?
Yeah.
The one in that like whole embassy. It was like, could you please just end this fight scene already?
Oh, that fight scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. There were times where I was like, can we deal without I understand people want to kill you, but like Halle Berry wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, why does he keep going to people when they know that he's... Listen, if you're worth $14 million, I don't care what you have to say. I want my money.
And Steve made a good point. Horse foo.
Horse food, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the horse was kicking people. I'm sorry. I watched two movies back to back with horses.
But that was a really creative way to kill people.
Yeah.
That's the common theme of this movie. Is really creative kills.
Well, they have to have really creative kills because they're on their third John Wick.
But like these kills would be like horrifying if it wasn't for the cinematography.
Did John Leguizamo die in the second one? Why wasn't he in this?
I just think he wasn't in it.
He was. He was in first. He was in the first one and the second one.
No, I just don't think he was in the movie.
He wasn't in the movie at all. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't think he died.
Oh.
Anyway,
okay.
We'll gotta go to the next movie. Up next is Brightburn.
Yes, or like we like to call it, horror Superman.
Yeah, it's the first thing that I called it. I think I showed you the trailer.
You showed me the trailer a couple months ago.
I gotta thank Steve for showing it to me.
Yeah. So I guess you can start it off. Tell us what it's about.
All right. So you know about this guy called Clark Kent, right? he crash lands in this weird flyover state called Kansas, and then he's just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a child, and I crash landed here in a spaceship. How you doing, my parents?" And like, okay, I guess we're gonna take you in.
So Superman's a Guido.
How you doing, my parents? So then they bring him in. They bring in the Superman. And then,
oh my god.
But this isn't that. You have the kid's name Brandon Byer. Brandon Byer. Thank you. He does his research. I don't, as you can tell.
It's okay.
Brandon Byer, who crash lands in Brightburn.
Brightburn. I don't know where exactly Brightburn is.
I don't think they want you to know. So they so he crash lands over there, and he comes in. He's being raised as like a kid, and you know that Jim Gunn's producing this, right? I think he's directing too.
He produced and directed. Yes.
Okay, so Jim Gunn's behind this. You don't see his horror stuff much. You see more of his flamboyant, over the top, like shoddy, like Guardians of the Galaxy type deal. But he's on this, and they don't own the rights to Superman, so they can't say Clark Kent. They can't say Superman. They can't say Smallville.
They missed the boat on this. I think DC, Warner Brothers, they missed the boat on this because they really could have been on this. Yeah,
but going into this movie though, they're what's really interesting is that you see that they're raising the kid. The kid's just kind of like overall just neutral, He's not like generally a good guy or a bad guy or whatever. He's kind of like he's being raised as a kid would be,
Right.
Like kids are generally raised with being innocent. That's how he is. But then one day he hears callings from the ship. And the ship's like saying glyphs to him. And he doesn't know the ship exists, but the ship's basically saying to him, take the world.
Right.
And
its own alien language.
Yeah, and from that point he snaps. So then he was learning about the birds and the bees. But his way of approaching the birds and the bees is like flying over to the girl's house and waiting inside her bedroom in a creepy little corner, saying, "Hey babe, how are you?"
That's super creepy.
And she's like, "Screw you, Superman! I don't need no man." And then he's like,
"I don't think that happened in my movie theater."
And then he's like, "Oh shucks!" And then he leaves when the mom tries to spot him. And then she catches him the next day. And then she's like, "Ha, Superman, you fell on the ground." And then she goes to pick him back up, and he just breaks her hand.
All right, so basically this was a concept movie, whereas think if Superman was what came to Earth, and instead of doing good,
he snapped
and went bad, and he went bad early and young.
And what they could have done, I heard arguments about this. It made a lot of sense. What people wanted, I guess, was that if he, despite him going bad, if it was more along the lines of like, hey, Superman's a teenager, he's going to use it to show off. Because there's this scene, I swear I saw a scene in the trailer where Superman goes to the high school.
I don't think I saw that.
In the first trailer. I could have sworn I saw that, because that would have been, maybe I'm just blurring all the trailers that I've seen. I watch a lot of trailers for you guys, okay? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm one person. But I would have liked to see Superman go to the school and like do some like more mass scale stuff.
I think you're mixing this up with Shazam.
I'm not. No. I would have liked to see him go to the school and kind of get back at the kids who are like mean to him, stuff like that.
So you want Columbine Superman?
Jesus Christ!
I mean, that's what it would be.
No, in the sense where it's like, because like his sense of right and wrong is that the girl rejected him, therefore he didn't have his way, and he wanted to get back at the girl by breaking her hands.
Right.
And it plays into the morality aspect of his psyche. And I would have liked to see a man, the most powerful being in the world, play into that a little bit more, into his like adolescent mindset,
he never knew what right from wrong was.
There's really only one scene. Well, he knew what right from wrong was, but he's just quickly like, yeah, but that's your right and wrong. It's not my right and wrong.
Right.
But like, there's only one scene. The movie is pretty low budget. For all things considered. It doesn't look it, but you can kind of tell.
You know what I wish from it?
Well, hold on. The only time you really only see Brightburn in action is that there's one scene where he's flying through the woods during the daytime, and that's like the closest you can get to seeing action like that.
I really wish we could have got more lore involving the spaceship.
Yeah.
I really wish don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but I wish we could have got into more of that. Like, I really wanted to see more. This was a movie that was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be 2 hours. Out of the 3 movies that I watched that were over 2 hours long, this movie I wanted it to be 2 hours.
There was not a slow point in this movie, I gotta say.
There wasn't.
But going into like with the kills that he did, they were just so cool, like how he did it.
Right.
And the first kill that he did with the waitress. Oh my god, that was insane. That was
God.
But
I was like this. I was like, I can't see. No, turn away. I haven't done that in a very long time.
Well, the movie also does a really good job of the audio too. Because like I notice a lot of times when like something big's about to happen, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna hover my hands over my ears and ready to lower the dB, because like the movie plays, it does jump scares. The jump scares make sense,
right?
Because that's like what Superman's actually doing for the jump scares, and the kills that he's doing, it's like more for himself. And what I really liked about this movie, if we have time for me to discuss this, we do, starts building an evil Superman superhero cinematic universe.
Right.
And I don't know if I mentioned this to you in text, but I wanted to get your reaction in this in person.
Sure.
So there isn't a post-credit scene. There's a during the beginning of the credits scene where it continues after the movie.
Right.
It basically goes Brightburn, then it continues for a little bit.
And it continues for a little bit. Yep.
And I don't know if you stayed till the end like I did.
I didn't stay to the very, very end. I did stay after the credits where they did show him.
Yeah.
Still damaging stuff. I didn't know if there was an end credits or not.
No, there's nothing after that.
Okay,
so
cool.
for you guys want to see that, that's really it.
Yeah.
But we just kind of spoiled the movie a little bit for you just by saying that.
I mean, it is what it is.
There's this one scene where it's kind of like an Alex Jones type character.
Okay.
Just in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
This basically saying like how Superman's tearing everything to shreds. He's like a mixture of like Alex Jones and J. Jonah Jameson. And my, oh my, what a wonderful combination
Oh my
that is.
God. He's just talking about how great it is to have this guy here.
Yeah. But with the movie, what is developing is it looks like that they want to do a horror like Wonder Woman, like a horror Aquaman, building that kind of cinematic universe.
It did seem like that, but again, they screwed the pooch on this one. They really, like, DC could have really like sunk his teeth, because I guarantee you this movie's going to make money.
Well, they could
because it's independent, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but they could have easily made it they could have done a Blackest Night thing with it.
Okay.
They could have done a Red Sun type deal with it. Where
they could have done that also.
Because Red Sun is just an alternate Superman. That's it.
Just how they're doing with the Joker, where they're having this Elseworlds type thing. They could do.
I'm
They could
so
have did it
excited
with
for
this.
the Joker, man.
Yeah.
I'm really hyped for that. But overall, yeah, Brightburn was super fun. It was
I did like it.
It was everything I wanted it to be. It was gritty. It was tense. There was like feelings of dread in it. It wasn't looming, but it was enough to where like the kid who played him just had such a creepy look to him.
Yeah.
And I love that.
He looked like one of the kids from Stranger Things, and I really wanted to look that up.
No, he wasn't.
He looked like Will.
Yeah,
Like, he reminded me of Will, like a little bit grown up.
he was in some other movie. He was in like smaller stuff.
Okay.
Not as good stuff either. I think
Right.
this could be like his breakthrough.
I mean, I love the movie. I wish there was more kills.
Yeah, but
That's my only
That's so
critique.
do I. But they did character development as
Yeah.
well as kills, so we got a little bit of both.
Right.
And I also really like I really like his dynamic with his parents.
Yeah.
And seeing like that paradigm shift.
Like, because for the most part, he didn't want his parents to know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's cool.
He literally hid his stuff in his porn.
Yeah.
Hoping his parents would find that first and not think twice. If you have a secret worse than you hiding porn at that age, you kind of need to come out about it.
Yeah.
So.
And I like the gags that come with this also.
Yeah.
You know, because they think that he's just an adolescent child, and they're trying to explain to him the birds and the bees.
Yeah, like I explained earlier.
Yeah. And
But that's what I really loved about it, is because of the fact that the parents were also kind of immature in their own ways, and that's what made it really fun. But yeah, Brightburn was It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool time. I recommend it.
I did like
And I'm
it.
definitely going to watch it again. I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray.
I don't know about all that, but I will watch it again if it's on like HBO or something like that.
No, I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray because I want to see it with some good home quality speakers, stuff like that I have. I feel like it'll be a fun time. Sit around some friends with popcorn, make fun of the movie while you're watching it.
Yeah,
that's the best thing to do with horror films.
You got to get people that haven't watched this movie before. Like, you got to get them to watch it. Like, I hope everyone watches this movie because of it. Like, I really do want it.
My name isn't Steve. So what have you been watching?
I've been watching actually the
More documentaries, right?
Another documentary.
More documentaries.
I like documentaries.
Hell yeah.
So last week they had a tribute to Norman Lear. It was all on the Family Live and Jefferson's Live, which was kind of hit or miss. Woody Harrelson as Archie Bunker, Jamie Foxx as George Jefferson. So there is a documentary that is on Netflix about Norman Lear, and I don't know if you ever.
I have not.
So you know who Norman Lear is, right?
Not.
So Norman Lear was a pioneer in TV back in the 60s and 70s. Norman Lear is responsible for creating about 10 hit TV shows on ABC, CBS, and NBC. So he's responsible for Sanford and Son, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, and a couple more that I can't really think of right now. But he's done One Day at a Time. Like he at one point in time he was controlling TV. Like every single network. There was only 3 networks back then, and he had a show on every single network. And he even said it in the documentary where he said, "Listen, I had like 10 families like I was taking care of at one time," and he would write this stuff. He would go, and he used to spark controversy. So if you look how and he's responsible for having the first African American family on television. He's responsible for having the first female driven show where the female was the aggressor. If you may, but it's a great thing, and just to see what he's doing now, and the fact that he still had his friends are Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner, who created Mary Tyler Moore and the Dick Van Dyke Show. It's just amazing, and it's just him talking about his memoirs and stuff that he's been going through. And the man is 96 years old right now. Still alive.
So, do you recommend the documentary?
I recommend this documentary. If you have not seen it, it's been on Netflix for about 3 years. You need to watch it. I've seen it about 3 times this week. So.
I'll watch it, but spoiler alert, he's still alive.
He's still alive, yeah. So. He doesn't die at the end.
What are we watching? I watched a few horror movies, actually.
Okay.
I had a few horror nights. I watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Okay, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, that movie was these 2 morticians, father and son, get this like weird, get this weirdly perfect body in, like that they need to perform an autopsy on to discover what happened. And as they're going into it, they find more and more weird stuff that doesn't seem proper. And then as they're going through, they realize there's something more supernatural going on.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I watched Apostle.
You told me about that one too.
Which was, I didn't tell them about it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, people.
I watched Apostle, which is a movie takes place back in 1912, 1913, around there. It's basically Resident Evil 4 for the first half.
Okay.
Man goes to Cult Island to save a girl. Okay. And the cult people, they have more stuff brewing under the surface. But then, like, as it's progressing, you see it kind of gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and it's a fun movie. It's like it's weird because, like, for it being a horror movie, it's bright the entire movie. It's almost always sunny.
It's always sunny in this movie.
Yeah, it's always sunny in Apostle. What else did I watch? Oh, and I watched Emily. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No.
It's Emelie. I watched it with some friends on just a spur of the moment type thing, and it's about these kids who get a babysitter, and as the movie's going on, you discover more and more weird stuff about the babysitter, and it's a horror and thriller. And I don't want to say more without spoiling because it's worth the watch.
Okay.
So all 3 of those movies are worth the watch. But yes, that's what I've been watching, and a lot of stuff about audio because that's what I watch in spare time because I have 2 minutes to watch things.
Well, I've been watching the NBA Finals.
I have not been watching the NBA Finals. I've been watching the movies for your show.
Me too.
All right, I'm Steve.
I'm Nigel.
This is the Jump Cut, where we jump and we cut things.
All right.
And what are we looking to watch next week? Anything we know of?
Ma.
I actually have plans to see that Saturday. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go run over there and end this show.
All right.
Keep them going, Nigel.
Hey, you can follow me on Instagram. Make sure you go to our Patreon. Yes, we do have a Patreon for Area 22 Productions. Please, if you like this, like and subscribe to Area 22 Productions. If you want to see more of us, please like us. We'll let you know. We'll alert you when our show is ready.
Good night.
Good night.